Farrell on it again, deep one around the back, Quinn is on! There's the Frenchman goal! It's Andrew Quinn, the underdogs bare their teeth and show their fight in this cup final. Drogheda United strike first.
Welcome to the We Are the Drogs podcast, a Drogheda United fans podcast, proudly sponsored by the Coffee Box.
Hello and welcome to the We Are the Drogs podcast, episode number 16. I'm joined again by Owen and Richie. How are we, boys?
Yeah, I'm good, lads.
Yeah, all good.
Excellent. Enjoying the nice day?
Yeah, trying to.
Trying to. Walking?
Yeah.
Nah.
Finished walk now.
I hope he's finished walk now.
Yeah, I'm off the clock now, yeah.
Off the clock.
Fucking civil servants doing podcasts in the middle of a walk day, huh? So yeah, lads, look, fuck me, where to start? That was just bonkers the other night. That was one of the maddest games I've been at in a long time.
Yeah, and we don't want fucking bonker games, don't we not?
Certainly do not.
No. Well, look, it was definitely one of them games when you stop and like look back at it and just like dive into it. Was as bad now as people are making out on Friday night?
No, definitely not.
I don't think it was. Now, don't get me wrong, Friday night leaving the ground, if we hadn't done this podcast Friday night, my God.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I think when you do stop and take a look back on it, you know, right, the first half hour was pure shite. But we did get back into it and we did go 3-2 up, and that took a bit of character.
Yeah, only for a worldly, we would have won that game. Like
Exactly, Owen. And that, like 9 times out of 10, he puts that over the bar, or it hits the bar, or the keeper saves it.
I was literally just about to say that.
No, we were, like, if that game had finished 3-2, we would have been a different outlook. We would have said, yeah, we were straight the first half hour, never got going, but we come back into it and we won it, and that was great character. You know, so when you do look at it that way.
Yeah. It's that fucking, you know, if my auntie hit balls, she'd be my uncle type scenario as well, though, isn't it? It's like, Christ almighty, we can't start games like that. We can't go 2-0 down. We just, Drogheda United go 2-0 down, we're in trouble. I know we're after, I'm waiting for Owen to hit me with the stats now. I know that's probably 3 times this season we have come back to lead in a game from going, 2-0 down. Happened to us in Shells, happened to us in Derry, and then it happened to us against Waterford, and we have come back. But, like, the defending, I suppose we'll just get into the nitty gritty of it. Like, the defending for the first goal, I suppose there's 2 ways of looking at this. Like, I looked at it a good few times earlier on. Kane was really unlucky. Like, he puts his foot through the ball and it just hits back off him. You know, 9 times out of 10, that ball ends up in the stand. And it just comes back off him, sort of ricochets back off him, and your man just sort of toe pokes it. Like, I think I said it to you at the game on, maybe Tally could have done a little bit better, but yeah, I think, and you said to me, well, he's not expecting it. No one was expecting it, because you were just expecting Kane to put his foot through the ball. And I know Leo Boney was kind of the wrong side. There's nothing he could have done, because if you put your hand on your man, he's going down and you're giving away a penalty. But it was a disaster of a start, like 15 seconds in.
But you know what? Like, even like if you look back on the goal, I'd actually blame Quinn for that goal. He missed his header altogether, and
Okay.
that's what sort of caught Kane off guard to try to deal with. Like, that's bread and butter for the likes of Quinn. He has to be winning them headers, especially in the first 15 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
No bullshit, win your header. He missed his header altogether. It was such poor defending, which caught out Kane, which caught out Tally.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was a poor goal to give away.
Yeah, no, look, fucking absolutely dreadful. Worst possible start that we could have hoped for. And it just gave Waterford that little bit between the teeth then, didn't it, to kind of take the game to us. And I just felt like, as you said earlier, the first half an hour, we were just on the back foot. and just couldn't get a foot on the ball. It's all the things that we've been kind of saying for the last, I don't know, however long at this point, but we just look shit.
Yeah.
Like that first 20 minutes probably the worst I've seen us play in a long, long time. I think anyway.
It was like schoolboy stuff, wasn't it, Owen?
Yeah, it was so just disjointed. Like you swear a lot of them never played together before. I think they were probably just shell shocked. Like,
Yeah. But like Owen, you can't be shell shocked in this league. You're going to get punished.
yeah, exactly, and we were. Yeah,
We were punished, and that was by Waterford, a team at the bottom of the table, can punish like that. It just goes to show what the other teams will do to you.
yeah.
There is no easy game. Like any mistake in this league, and you are punished.
Yeah, like, I know, again, we obviously it's only 2 weeks ago since we bloody played Waterford, and it kind of goes back to the whole, like, people commented about, oh, we should be beating Waterford, and, you know, like there's some sort of a divine right to be beating Waterford because they're bottom of the league, but they have shown a marked improvement since your man has taken over. Like it's shown up in the performances, maybe not in all the results because they're still not getting wins on the board. But they're not a soft touch, and they never were. Like, you know what I mean? They're not great away from home either, but they're never a soft touch. They're always in games, and with players like Noonan and fucking Podge Hammond and the other chap, what's his name? Lonigan. I mean, and then obviously a man Kuto pops up with the wonder goal the other night. Like, I mean, they've some good ballers in that team.
They do, yeah. And like, I definitely like this thing about any divine right to beat a team. You don't. But I think what people expect when you're home against a team in the bottom of the league is to put in a performance and to go after the game and to really push it. Like, I think fans can understand if you play really well and you're wet, you see, right, we got fucking unlucky there tonight, weren't we? But we're not doing that. We're not playing well. We're not starting games well. We're doing it in patches. I think that's what's annoying people.
Yeah.
It wasn't Shamrock Rovers at home we were playing. It was Waterford. We should be having a right good go at them from word go. And we're not doing that at the minute.
Yeah, look, and I mean, I agree with you there. It's really, really frustrating, and it's getting played out now at this point. I've said it, probably boring the heads off people, but just saying it, we cannot consistently put in a 90-minute performance, and it just seems to be beyond us. You know, I know there was individual mistakes in that there the other night, but just as a team, we just didn't come out of the blocks for at least half an hour. I suppose the last 10 minutes of the first half, we had a chance, and we'll get to that. And we did look okay. We kind of sprung into life a little bit, and you know, and then we got a goal, and kind of things changed for the better. But like as you said as well, Richie, you can't expect to not be 100% at it from the first whistle and to get anything out of a game, because it doesn't matter who you're playing, and especially Waterford coming here. They're after getting 3 points off us down there. They were targeting this game as another 3 points, and you could see that in them in the first half, that they were really, really trying to get at us. Fairly direct at times as well, as you said as well. You're not playing Shamrock Rovers. It was always going to be a massive battle, and they won that battle in the first half. Like,
They really did, yeah. Well, as well, like, I'm not trying to make excuses either, but that lineup wasn't the team that was probably picked the day before.
No, food poisoning in the camp or something.
Yeah, so that would play a part in it, you know. It's still, like I said, I don't want to make excuses, you know. We still should have been good enough to go out and not do what we did in the first 20 minutes of that game. No matter who you have on the pitch or where you have to play, you shouldn't be doing that. So, but I can see how it can disrupt the team. Like, with Shane Farrell bloody playing full back.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, there's no getting away from that. We're absolutely down to the bare bones as it is. I mean, we're really stretched. There was like 4 or 5 under-20s lads on the bench, and you know, there was hardly a bench there at all, to be honest with you. And you'd Ethan O'Brien starting, and obviously I don't think he was scheduled to start.
Him or Shane Farrell weren't supposed to play.
Him or Shane, yeah. So you'd Cruz and that crying off with some sort of dodgy takeaway or something, somebody said.
Who was the other player then?
Don't know.
Was there two players? I thought they said there was two players.
I thought there was two mentioned, yeah, but with that many players out, it's hard to keep track of who's injured and who's not. Who's yeah, I'm not sure. Buckner was on the bench, so it wasn't him.
No, that was Warren, was it?
Well, Warren had his injury anyway.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know. He might have been able to sit on the bench, apart from the two boys. You wouldn't know, like.
Yeah. Like, I was disappointed to see us going back to 3 at the back, well, a 5 at the back. But was that because of the injuries we have, is it? And is that because we're missing players?
Let you answer that, Owen.
I don't know is the answer. I really don't know. It's just an honest stage.
Like, you know, if that's any criticism we probably haven't got ideas why we go back to back 5 at home to Waterford. Now look, he probably has his reasons. It probably is injuries maybe. Like Cruz last week against Dundalk was man of the match. He was bloody super. So he was due to start, and then he goes and gets food poisoning.
Yeah.
So unlucky, isn't it? Like, Jesus, lad, the amount of bad luck we're having at the minute. So did that play a part? Like, were we supposed to play a 4-4 or 4-3-3? We never know.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, I don't know. It's when you try and look at it, as you said, like, you know, 3 or 4 days after the fact, I'm not looking at it as critically as I was, because I met you on Friday night, Richie, walking over towards the cars after the game, and I have to say I was just absolutely fucking raging. I was because I really thought, right, we're after, you know, really terrible start, and you know, we had said this is a 6-pointer and we really need a win here. A draw's not good enough. Don't know how many people said that to me on the way into the ground. And then you're 4 minutes away from the 90th minute, and you're 3-2 up after coming back from 2-0 down, thinking this could be it, like going into the summer break now, beat Waterford, you know, keep them rooted down there, get another 3 points, put us up into 6th. And you're kind of looking up and you're going into the break then with a bit more of a positive frame of mind. Pat's away next. That's never easy. But it was heartbreaking. Just the way everything went. But then you think, right, we're turning a corner here now. Terrible start, but we'll still come out of here with 3 points and, you know, beat one of the teams that are kind of in and around us at the moment. And yeah, it might get rid of some of the kind of negativity that's around the place, but it didn't. And I know obviously we conceded a goal, and it was an absolute wonder goal. We will get to that goal, but before we do, we go 2-0 down. I think it was in and around 20 minutes. Kevin Long from a corner just rises and just seems to get on Ryan seems to be on the wrong side of him or loses him. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but it's a fairly easy tap in from the corner, like from a header.
Yeah. And like, as we spoke before about it, that's somewhere where we were so good at in that position, wasn't it? Defending corners, set plays.
It's bread and butter.
Yeah, it's the opposite now. It's the opposite, and it's still not right. It hasn't been fixed. Now look, Colin Healy out again. You know, we just can't get a run of it at all, lads.
Yeah, it would make you wonder why Ryan was picking up Kevin Long. I mean, he's one of the biggest lumps that Waterford have in the team. Like, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a mismatch there.
Probably, strength-wise maybe so, but not in the air, because like Ryan can leap at the best of them in the air and win headers against the best of them.
Yeah, he can. He proved that in the second half.
He can, there's no problem. But yeah, look, maybe physically wise, but look, Conor Keeley would have been marking him, or Bulger would have been marking him.
Yeah, you'd imagine.
It would, that's what you'd be thinking, but look, you don't want to be looking for excuses every week. Like, it's not good enough, but the players there should be stepping up and doing it, and to me, it is individual errors every week that's costing us.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I'd say Kev's tearing his hair out over it.
Yeah.
Like he's saying in his interviews, they work on all that stuff, and the lads just aren't doing it on the pitch.
No. We're just not defending as a team. And like, you don't go blaming individuals because that's not how professional football works. They're a team. They're in it together.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't just say, oh, well, you didn't do your job. I'm fine. I'm doing my job. You didn't do yours. That's not how it works. As a team, they're not defending as a unit. You know, we're being punished with it every bloody game.
Yeah, sometimes you get away with it, but we haven't.
No, we've got away with nothing this year, Owen.
No.
Nothing. You know, everything's going against us.
Yeah, it really does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Now, look, probably every other team are saying the same. All their own every other fan of every other team are saying the same. But it is definitely going against us. Just can't catch a break.
Oh, well, look, I don't think any other team in the league can go through the list of shit that we're after going through since the beginning of this season. Off the field matters, then on the field matters, and then the amount of injuries, and you know we have a long list of grievances and stuff that really, really hasn't gone our way, and then you couple that with the team just absolutely not performing on the pitch. And I know we've been kind of surmising now for the last few months, is there something wrong? You know what I mean? Is there a negative vibe in the camp or whatever? But Kevin maintains no, there isn't. They're training really well. I know that's a fucking cliche at this point, but he seems happy about what he's seeing on the training pitch day in, day out. And obviously we're not there, so we don't know. But for some reason, when we cross that right line, things just seem to go awry for us. I don't know. Are we not good enough? Like, is there an element to that? Are we just not good enough?
No, I definitely wouldn't say that. Yeah, I definitely think we'd have a good squad of players. Right, I know there's probably a few lads probably shouting at this podcast now saying, he's not good enough and he's not good enough. But I think there's a good squad of players there. I really do. We've probably got 8 players out injured at the minute, have we?
We're not far off.
Not far off. There is a lot going against us, and I don't want to be sounding like a broken record, but I still think the whole European thing is hanging over us still. I think that's still that cleared over the club still.
Really?
I do, yeah.
I don't know whether that's the case. There's lads there that had nothing to do. They weren't even at the club at the time.
No, but I think if we had got European football and we weren't kicked out of it, I think you're bringing in more players, probably a bit more better quality. You probably want to spend more players on the budget. You'd have a bigger budget. You know, I still think it's having a knock-on effect on the running of the club.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can deny that definitely that there is a knock-on effect, and you know, the positivity around the place. Imagine we were going into this break now thinking, right, we're in Europe, lads. We'd all have our flights booked, and we'd be waiting on the draw or whatever, but we'd all be booking our holidays and all that, and same with the players, and I think that would have contributed to like the feel good factor around the place, as opposed to a really negative vibe around the place. And then you add on the other shit that happened down in Oriel, and then Joanna Bourne getting sacked, and the whole carry on. Like, there's no way we can kind of sit here and go, oh, that can't be having an effect, or that shouldn't have an effect. I mean, we don't know what it's like. And you can definitely tell it with Kevin. I've never seen him so frustrated, and I've never seen him so annoyed, even in previous seasons where we were right down there, but it was always a positive vibe off him, but he definitely seems to be just a little bit more angsty in his interviews and stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think the expectation levels are a lot higher, aren't they, now?
Yeah, but should they be?
But some people, they shouldn't be, but they are.
Yeah. A lot of fans think we should be in the top 3.
What?
Top 4. There's fans that are thinking, like, why aren't we challenging for Europe? Or why aren't we up? Like, and then the whole argument is, oh, well, the Dock are up there. You know, and that's their arguments. But I said at the start of the season, I think this team's capable of getting 6th, 7th spot. And I think that's what we're capable of. That's my expectations of this season.
Right. Well, okay. You're entitled to your opinion, but even at that, Richie, if we got 6th, that's us punching above our weight.
Oh yeah, 6 would be fucking like amazing.
Yeah, that's us outdoing ourselves, and that's us kind of like finishing ahead of teams with bigger budgets and more expectations. Like, I mean, again, I'm not going to name names and all that, but like, the comments flying around on social media after the game, like certain people saying, "Oh, I don't want to hear about budgets. I'm sick of hearing about budgets and all this." Like, budgets. We've said it a million fucking times, and we're getting boring now. But look at league tables around the world in every professional sport. A league table will nearly always be dictated by a budget. The team with the most money will probably end up winning it, and then the teams with the less money will end up down the league towards the bottom. And that's just a fucking fact. And I know, again, sometimes people come and they sort of they finish above expectations and they've an amazing season and all that. And I know that happens in every league as well. And, that's great. We did that last year. And then all of a sudden everyone's thinking, right, well, no, we've done it last year. We need to be able to go ahead and do it this year, regardless of us losing players. We've talked about it as well, not being able to attract these players because we didn't have European football and because of the ground that we play in. And, there's still a stigma attached to Drogheda United Football Club, whether we like it or not. You know what I mean? So it's annoying. And I'm not saying, again, right, certain people had a go at Kevin in the ground. You're entitled to have a go. You're entitled to be fucking disappointed and say whatever you want. And I think sometimes Kevin should just bite his tongue and just walk away. Because I know he reacts. When people have a go at him, he reacts. Sometimes I don't think he does himself any favours there because he's a fucking passionate man. He's the same as the rest of us when we're stood watching a football game. We'd be losing our fucking minds, like. But I think sometimes for his own good, maybe he should just go, yeah, whatever, and just walk away. Rather than getting himself all annoyed and, starting some kind of shit with supporters.
Yeah, like, see if he does that, if he says that, Kev turned his back on the fans, he ignored the fans, that'll be said then about him if he does that, so he can't win either way.
Yeah, fair enough, right, that's fair enough, but what he should be doing, right, come over, clap the fans the way he does, whoever's shouting at him or abusing them, just blank them.
Yeah, it's hard, especially if someone's personally attacking you.
Yeah, see, and that is the difference. If it's a personal attack and it's having to go at him, that's wrong.
Completely.
Right? And every man just should be open to be criticised and who they pick and what players they pick and how they set the team up. That's fine. That all comes back to opinion. We've all got an opinion. But some lads cross the line, don't they? It gets a bit abusive, it gets nasty. And there's no need for that, Because like, can you honestly tell me that Kevin Doherty doesn't care about this football club and this football team?
I don't know what some people will be thinking, like.
Yeah, we see it in him every week. There's nobody more pissed off or annoyed than him.
I can't remember a manager that cared more, Richie.
No, either can I. Definitely not. And we've seen some amount of managers, haven't we?
Yeah. What about Doolin? He was very personable.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on him. Like, the amount of money that was thrown at that fella and the amount of, pretty much success that was just fucking handed to him in a checkbook. Go and sign whoever you want. And, he was on big money himself and all the players playing at the time. And there were some great players, don't get me wrong. But, God, there was just nothing personal about that man at all. He just, anyway, yeah, we won't talk about him. But even going back as far as like fucking Alan Matthews and different people like that, he was a dickhead. He was just using us as a fucking stepping stone because he'd nowhere else to go at the time, if you ask me. And we can go through the list here of different managers, and I don't have a problem saying it. I didn't like him. I just thought there was a vibe off him that I just did not like, and I don't think he liked Drogheda United Football Club very much. But you cannot say that. Not one person can tell me that Kevin doesn't put absolutely 100% into his job. You can tell me that you don't think he's good enough, and that's your personal opinion. And you think you might go, oh, it's time for him to move on, lads. It's time for him to move on. But you can tell me that too. I might disagree or I might agree. You know what I mean? But you can't tell me that he doesn't care. He's fucking unbelievably wrapped up in this job and the town and our football club, and he's just his heart is in it, man, in a massive way.
It is, yeah. And like, I definitely think if he was on the same budget of your Shells and your Derrys and your Rovers and your Pats, and he was producing what we're producing now and was sitting down in the wrong end of the table, then it's a different story. You know,
Tiernan Lynch style.
yeah, exactly. And like, even Joey O'Brien at Shells, like, my God, the money that they've been given and what they're producing, like, you can see why they're getting lashed out of it. But, you know, like, Dottie's nowhere near that amount of money to spend on players' budgets.
No.
And until he does, he is doing some job with us. He really is. Like, he's keeping us in Premier League football every season. How long are we in now, the Premier League?
Since what, 2021, is it? 2?
5 years.
Yeah. You know, and we won a cup. And I know people saying, oh, you can't live off the credit of a cup. You fucking can. On his budget.
Yes, you can. Especially when you're at our level, like, yeah. Of course you can.
Exactly. You know, and not saying like a broken record again, but we were one game away from getting European football again this season. That would have been 2 years in a row. Right, I know the first year what happened, that was admin stuff. But that would have been 2 years running that he would have got us European football. And that's what I'm on about, still hanging over the club, I think. That would have decided the bigger budget. That would have decided who he brings in. And it didn't happen. But, like, to say, like, I just love to know who these lads want in as a manager. If you're going to get rid of Doherty, who do you bring in?
I've never heard them suggest who they want.
No. You never hear that. Like, the examples, one of the best examples to have a look at, in my opinion, is Waterford. When you talk about sacking managers. Like, obviously they had Keith Long was at Bowes for years. Didn't win a trophy with them, got fairly close, got them to a cup final. They sack him. He ends up down in Waterford for a couple of years. Did a reasonably okay job with them. He gets the boot. Then they bring in somebody else short term. Then they bring in another permanent manager, John Daly, sack him, bring someone else in short term. Now they're bringing in this Coughlin character. I mean, I don't want that at our football club. Because we all remember the grim old days when we bought in like somebody like Bobby Brown just because he had coaching badges and no one knew who the bloody manager was and everything was just so up in the air. It's a horrible place to be, and there's no stability there. That's one thing we do have. And that's one thing we need to hold on to, if you ask me. When you're down there and you're in a position where things are looking a bit grim, instead of sacking the manager, show some faith in him. Travella need to come out now in this window and throw money at him and say, right, Kev, what do you need? Who do you need? And what do you need? And we're going to try and help you to go out and get them players in the door. Sacking him would just be absolutely fucking suicidal at the moment, because you probably would end up going down.
You would, because a lot of them players would be loyal to Doherty as well. And then all of a sudden you start losing players, then you're bringing in more players, and you want to just fit the style of the club, or you're nearly starting from scratch all over again, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, and like, I just don't see the benefits. I really don't. You know, he's just, like, as I said, if he had a bigger budget and he was producing this football, or we were pointing relegation every year, you'd say, right, come on, it has to be a bit better. But until then, you don't judge him. Like, we're probably only about 2 or 3 players away, lads, probably 2 or 3 wins away from being up the other end of the table. That's too close to this.
3 points the other night, Richie, we would have been in 6th, I think.
Yeah. So you imagine how you had your full squad of players back fit, plus 2 or 3 signings in that team, and then you get a couple of wins. It's a different story, lads. Like, it really is a different story. It's not as if we're cut afloat at the bottom of the table.
Is there something to be said though, right? Like, I think regardless of where we are in the table, there's always going to be people moaning and complaining because they just don't like the football that we play, and they don't want to watch that week in, week out, and just can't help themselves with the moaning and look, I'm not like, that sounds like I'm having a go. They're entitled to their opinion. They really, really are. Like, everybody pays their money in. We're all entitled to an opinion, and we just happen to have a platform to give ours, so we will. But, like, I know even last year and the year before, because of the way we were playing football, even when we had a bit of success, like, there's still people moaning because they just don't like the football that we play. Sometimes I hate the football that we play. It absolutely drives me mental. We've been giving out about it for weeks. I have anyway, about certain elements of, like, just kicking the ball away the whole time, and because we'll get back to the game shortly, but like there was evidence of us being able to play some really nice football. There was a lovely little moment between O'Brien and Farrell where there's lovely little passes between them, and I know we need Ethan O'Brien back in that team because I think there's a lot of football is going to come through him, and when we're missing him we struggle. But it's just the style I think really, really annoys a lot of people. The overall style of our play, like.
Yeah, no, look, you can understand. Of course, they can. As you said, lads are entitled to their opinion, but like as shit as it's ever been up there, and how hard it is to watch, you always show up and support the team, though, don't you? You never say, "Oh, I'm not going this week because they're playing shit. I'll skip next week. I'm not going to bother." Like, you still go and support the team and get behind them. It is our team and our club after all.
Yeah, look, maybe we're probably exaggerating or overemphasizing. Like, there's not that many. Like, I didn't know there was a few boos at half time. I'm not sure whether them boos are directed towards any of the players or directed towards Kev. I think it was just boo or 2-0 down more than having a right old pop of lads. It wasn't like that. We're not bows. I mean, bows are fucking toxic at times. Jesus Christ, like, even when they're... Sorry?
Derry are even worse for it.
Yeah, like, there's a really, really bad, like, bows for me are fucking horrible at times. Like, even when they're on a really good run and they lose a game, they get booed off the pitch, and you're like, Jesus, man, you're after winning 3 or 4 in a row, and they played all right or whatever, but you still feel you're entitled to boo a player off the pitch and roar abuse at a manager and all that. I don't think Drogheda United has ever been like that. I don't remember ever being like that. And I'm glad we're not like that. But, like, as we said, people are entitled to their opinions. But I didn't feel like them boos the other night were that sort of vitriolic or anything. But I know David Sheehan did mention it to Kevin in his interview, and Kevin got a bit annoyed with him. You could see that. He says, "Oh, no, I didn't hear that. Move on. Don't want to talk about that." That was awkward.
It was, wasn't it?
Mm.
I thought it was a bit out of order by your man Sheehan, to be honest.
Yeah. Now, would you reckon Doherty didn't hear the booing?
It wasn't that much, was it?
No, it wasn't. And like we know up in that ground, like, sometimes you can't hear the away fans what they're singing or what they're doing. So
Yeah, I wouldn't say you heard them.
yeah, I wouldn't say you heard them either. Yeah, it was awkward, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. Like, David Sheehan, sometimes I think he's a good commentator, right? And I like when he has Crowley on with him, because he seems a bit more balanced than some of the other LOI TV. Like, the Shelbourne one would absolutely do your head in. The Bowes one at times would drive you nuts. The guy that commentates on Pat's games is an absolute head wreck. And then Johnny McDonald alongside him, they would do your fucking head in with this partisan kind of attitude towards the commentating. I don't like that. But I do think David Sheehan and Crowley, and he'd Adam Foley on with him the other night, they're fairly balanced. Like, they'll say how the game is going. I think sometimes David Sheehan is even a bit too balanced, because he doesn't have that kind of partisan attitude towards Jordan United. I know he's not from here or anything, but like he's the LMFM sort of guy, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's more of a GAA head than he is a football head. But like, I just thought his interview the other night was a bit much, and you could see it in Kevin's face. He was getting annoyed with him, you know. Move on, David, move on. We're not going there. You know what I mean? What's the point in saying that? I don't know what that achieves.
No, I don't either. And just on about Doherty as well, would you two reckon now he's at a stage where he could actually walk? Would you say that's even coming into his head?
I don't think so, no, to be honest.
No.
No. Where's he go? He's going to have to sit around and wait for another job for a start.
Yeah. No, I was just something I was thinking of the other day. He looks under pressure on that, but, you know, would he do Damien Duff?
I don't think he would. I'd say if he felt he'd lost the dressing room, he might. But
yeah,
I don't get that. I don't get that feeling.
No, I don't get that feeling with the players.
The fact that we actually fight back in games shows that they actually haven't lost the dressing room.
But just as Greg just said, then he's getting involved with the crowd, and the crowd are getting, there's a few lads getting on his back.
Yeah.
Would be
That happened last year as well.
Yeah, would be the type of manager who said, "Well, fuck them, I mean, it doesn't bother me."
Yeah.
You know.
I'm 100%. I really don't think he's a quitter. I don't think he's going to walk away from that.
No.
I mean, he's built what's there. Like, you know, any success we've had on that pitch, in my opinion, obviously it's the players, but you know, all of the good times that we've had over the last couple of years are down to him and Dara and Mulveda and all his back room and that. I'm not belittling their sort of contributions, but you know, Kev's the manager. The buck stops with him. I just think he's really passionate. It's like he just can't help himself. You know, I think he's like a football fan. He's like one of us stood in the terrace, kind of losing a fucking shit. Like at sometimes, you know, you say things and you act like you wouldn't outside the ground. You know what I mean? But it's just that for that 90 minutes, you're so engrossed and you're kicking every ball, like. And he's no different, and he was like that as a player as well. And I can't see it unless the pressure's coming internally from the owners, and I don't think that the owners are putting him under any pressure at all.
Yeah, they're not putting him under pressure because they're not helping him.
Yeah, well, they're not giving him the money.
They're not giving him the money. It'd be different if they were saying, "Look, we're giving you loads of money there. We're actually giving you everything you need, and you're still not producing." Then you can feel the pressure. But to me, at the minute, all the blame is on them. Is on the owners.
I think some of the players need to share a little bit of the responsibility here of just not performing.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And there is a few players, and they're just not doing it at the minute, aren't they not?
No, they're not. And they're being named by name the other night as well by a lot of people, and we all know who they are. And it's players like Thomas Lewis is a fucking scapegoat. Every time we've a poor performance and stuff, he just gets dragged across the coals. And like you did say this to me the other night, Owen, I think it was you anyway, that like, you know, Ryan gave away the second goal. Was Ryan responsible for giving away the goal? Yes. When you look at it on paper, yes. Ryan didn't get enough of a challenge in, didn't win the ball in the air. Ryan gave away that goal. You're never going to hear Ryan getting abuse.
No, you won't. But also on the flip side of that, Ryan never stopped working his ass off the whole game and got us back to 3-2 up in that game. So where he might have made a mistake and he probably didn't do his job, he didn't hide. He didn't go into a ball and say, "Well, that's it, game's over." I actually think Ryan dragged us through that game the other night.
Yeah, Ryan has a lot of credit in the bank, lads. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying he should have been, you know, dragged over the coals for making a mistake, but you tend to see and you tend to hear the same sort of 2 or 3 players getting absolutely ripped out of it the whole time. Now that could be purely because they're playing shit and they deserve to be sort of dragged across the coals because they're not doing their job properly. But you know what I mean? But like even Conor Kane the other night, for the first 20 minutes, I thought he was horrendous.
Yeah, he was.
Really bad.
And Quinn's the same as well. Quinn's not playing to his levels.
No.
He plays that. I'll also give you a good example. The other night, there was a ball went back to a Waterford centre back, and Doyle was the closest player to him. And who closed him down? Brandon Kavanagh. Brandon Kavanagh actually ran by Doyle, sprinted by Doyle to go and close down the Waterford player. And Doyle just standing there. You know, when you're seeing the likes of that, like, right, I know Doyle, like, Doyle's the top scorer in the league, so he is at the minute.
He's up at 8 now.
He's trying
Yeah,
to
him, Lonergan and Edmondson all of 8, yeah.
goals. Anyway, that's fine, and that's. But when you see him just sort of dawdling around the pitch and Brandon Kavanagh having to run from a midfield position by Doyle to close down the centre half,
Yeah.
to me that's where the few problems are. And that's player individual, that's player errors not doing their job, not working hard enough for the team.
Yeah, and especially in a Kevin Doherty team. Because we all know there's no individuals. We walk out, there's 11 players across that white line, and Kevin expects every single one of them to do their job. And that's part of your job, Doyle, is to get back there, get tackles in, you know what I mean, put a bit of energy, and he just comes across as a lazy bollocks at times. He really does.
Yeah, like I seen him stand, I literally turned to Evan and said it to Evan, I said, did you see that? Like, Kavanagh literally sprinted by him to close the ball down. And to me, then, that's not Kavanagh's job. Like, I spoke with Kavanagh last week. I think the amount of work he's doing off the ball just to keep us in games.
It's not right.
It's not. We're not seeing the best of his other side as a playmaker.
Yeah.
No, so, and I think Ryan's the type of player. Ryan's the same. Ryan just empties the tank every night, and that's why he's the credit in the bank. And you know, so maybe the likes of Alou are not doing that. And trust me, fans see these things, don't they? Lads see these things. You see Alou not working hard. You see Doyle not working hard. You see Quinn not putting in. And they're calling it.
Yeah, and that's fair, but like, even going back to Kavanagh, there was one incident the other night where the ball came over to the cross lane side. It was in the first half when we were 2-0 down, and Kavanagh had absolutely busted a nut to win the ball back, won the ball back, and was trying to look forward and trying to look for somewhere to pass the ball. There was none of the other midfielders within 100 yards of him. I don't know where they were, I don't know what they were doing. But there was no Ethan O'Brien, there was no Farrell, there was no Ryan at that point. Ryan was probably back kind of defending more than anything else. And you just see the frustration on his face. And he just ends up whacking the ball back as far as Tally, who's another player that was absolutely getting it in the neck the other night off a lot of people saying that we need Dennison back. I know Tally made an awful boo-boo in the last 5 or 10 minutes. He kind of went to kick the ball to Ryan and ended up giving the ball back to Waterford. I mean, that was poor. But, you know, again, is Tally going to turn into another scapegoat now? You know, I mean, I'm not sure how good or how bad he was the other night, to be honest. I mean, I think some of the things he does are very good. Some of the things are a bit average, but I think Dennison was very, very similar. Do you know what I mean? But he was getting abused the other night as well.
Yeah,
I didn't get it at all either. Like, he was being told to like dish the ball out quick. The fans were telling him to dish it out quick and stuff, and he was holding on to it, and they're giving out fuck. And then when he actually did try to dish it out quick, that's when he gave the ball away.
Yeah.
It's abuse for that, like. So, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. But there's probably by instruction to hold on, wait till the lads are in position, and then kick it forward. Like. Because say if he puts the ball forward quickly, and the Waterford player just heads it back, he gets given out to them for not kicking the ball to draw the player. Like, it's tough one, like.
It is, and he has been struggling to keep the ball on the pitch. Like, he has kicked the ball into the stands quite a lot as well. So maybe he's just kind of giving himself a little bit more time. He tell you what, he's definitely taken more than 8 seconds to kick that ball out as well.
Yeah.
Jesus, there was like one stage he was a good 20 seconds.
I don't think they've actually ever given a corner in the league yet for that, have they? Not in any era games anyway, for holding on for the ball too long.
No. Look, lads, I suppose we just go through the rest of the game. We had a serious chance. I think it was a Shane Farrell passed the ball to Kavanagh and he absolutely blasted it and it hit off the bar. That was a serious strike, and I think he's capable of that. You know what I mean? We're so unlucky that doesn't go in, and if it does, it changes the game there and then.
Oh, big! It would have been some goal, wouldn't it?
Unbelievable strike.
It would have been a hell of a
Like
goal.
you see, he has it in his locker. Like
He really does.
I've seen someone online criticise him a couple of weeks ago, saying, he's only got one goal or something. And at the time he got two. He's got 4 assists.
Yeah,
that's 6 goal involvements in 18, 19 games. That's not bad going.
Yeah, and then
in a team that's been inconsistent.
Yeah, no, 100%. And a really lovely floated ball in for Doyle's header. Really well taken. You can question the Waterford defending, I suppose, in the same manner that you can question their goal for them. But it was a lovely ball in from Kavanagh, and Doyle put it away really, really well.
Yeah, no, he did. Yeah. And then look, I do know some of his crossing and his free kicks can be poor as well, but he usually does deliver with them.
I think more often than not, though, they're okay.
Decent.
Yeah. I tell you what, I would like to see a couple of more free kicks in a round where maybe you have a chance to shoot. I'd like to see Shane Farrell on them.
Yeah, direct.
Yeah, more direct, because Shane has that in his locker.
Yeah.
But, I just, as I said already, I think Kavanagh's doing so much work off the ball and in the wrong half. We're still not seeing the best of him.
No, absolutely not. And just getting to the other goals. I mean, in any other game, that Shane Farrell goal is it's the best game. It's the best goal in the game. Only for Benny Couto's equaliser at the end probably shades that, but that was a savage goal with Farrell on his right foot.
Yeah, some strike now. Yeah, go through a lot of bodies as well.
Yeah, I actually think Shane Farrell's goal was better for the simple fact it came at him so quick. He had to get it through a group of players. I think the Waterford goal, he timed the header come out of him. He'd actually time to take a touch.
He had too much time, Richie.
That's the problem, yeah. He had too much time. Where Shane didn't. Shane's goal came on so fast, the ball, like Kavanagh was nearly in his way. Kavanagh did well to jump out of his way. And he caught it just as he was running onto it. It was actually better technique than the Waterford goal.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one myself.
And to me it was, as I said, I thought Waterford player had all the time in the balls. Like, anybody can take a touch, lads, and just put the boot through it again, and that's what he did. Right, he had to hit the tag, and it was a top bin. It was a good goal. I'm not saying it was a good goal, but I thought Shane Farrell's technique was harder to do, the way it came at him and him running onto it. He didn't have time to adjust. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the Couto goal probably just looks a little bit more spectacular and just up and down, that kind of, when it's one of them, it's a bit of a worldly, but he had done it previous and ended up hitting I think the ball got a deflection and ended up hitting the bar. So the warning signs were there. He's hanging round, sort of coming in late, hanging around the edge of the area, and nobody closed him down. You can actually see it in slow motion. You're like, oh no, here we go. Surely somebody should have got tighter and closer to him at that period in the game. It was like the 86th, 87th minute.
Yeah.
It was really disappointing.
Yeah, and it felt like a defeat then, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It felt like it did. It really did feel like a defeat. When you come from 2-0 down and you're fucking 3-2 up and then you lose the game, draw the game, it felt like a loss.
Yeah. I thought Ryan's goal was super. The way he adjusted his feet and just guided the header.
Yeah, it was good flick on from Godden as well for that.
Yeah. What do you think of Godden in that position? He sort of come on as in the front three, didn't he?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't say it's his best position, but
yeah. Well, as soon as you come on, he's done
a job, like, yeah.
Yeah,
He's another player that I just don't think we've seen the best of, and some sort of consistent run in the team, because I do think there's definitely something there. Like he's decent, you know what I mean? But I'd love to see him play in the same position regularly and just get some sort of consistency going. You know what I mean? I think that in the second half of the season now, I really feel that obviously, hopefully we do bring in 3 or 4 or whatever, but it's that consistency that we're lacking. We never. I know it's because of injuries and there's all sorts of things changing from 4 to 5 at the back and all that. But you'd love to see us sort of settling on some sort of a forced 11 and then using all our squad players, which is great. You know, I mean, I have no problem with that. And I think sometimes Kevin is guilty of, if he settles on an 11, he'll just play them to death. Like he'll play them every week and they'll all play 90 minutes. But I do think that there is something to be said for that, like a good settled 11, and we know what formation we're going to be playing from week to week, and you know we know what we're going to get. We're just a bit all up in the air at the minute, like no one knows where they're going to play, or lads going to fit in playing in positions where they're just not used to playing, and you know it's fucking hard to get any kind of good run of results when you're down to your bare bones, like.
It is, and like when you're changing players and positions every week, there's no rhythm in the team. There's no consistency.
Yeah.
And look, it is coming down to injuries, and not just trying to make excuses again, but facts are the facts. We have so many injuries. We've never had the same back 4 or the same back 5 every game. We've had 2
midfield's been chopped and changed a bit. Forward line as well.
Yeah. The midfield is never the same.
The break's probably coming at a good time for us. I think did he say Kev said a couple of lads should be back for the Pats game, so
yeah, I know.
Good to see.
I know who's back 2 years.
Who?
Conor Keeley back.
Yeah.
Well, thank God for that, at least.
Yeah, he'll be actually back this week if there's a game this week.
Right, well, look, I mean, even in saying that, I don't think Keeley was up to his levels either in a few games. You know what I mean? I think he probably needs to step it up too. Like, I don't think he's blameless in this whole thing either. We had a good win earlier on. I don't think Keeley hasn't definitely. We know how consistent he can be because we've seen what kind of a player he is last year. Like, he was just unbelievable. Nothing was getting past him. You know what I mean? We need that again. He's like a fucking man mountain when he's in that kind of form, and we need that.
We do need him, and as I did say it here before, I think when Connor's on it, I think the whole team is on it. He's a proper leader. And he's a proper captain. I mean, he'll probably tell you the same himself, it hasn't been good enough. I'm sure he's not the type that's going to say, oh yeah, I'm fine. I don't think he's that type.
No.
Maybe this little break do him the world of good, you know, just give them all time to reset and go again. That's what we're hoping, isn't it?
Yeah, they're back training at the weekend.
They are.
Next weekend,
there's an open training session at the weekend, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I know they're gone off. A few of them have gone off golfing or gone off with the kids and all that for a few days. I think Kevin's in Portugal at the minute, so you'd be really hoping that that's like a bit of a reset for them. Just go and chill and don't listen to this, whatever you do. Go off and just have a couple of beers with the wife and the kids and just relax. You know what I mean? Get away from it for a while, because I imagine it is stressful on them as well. Like,
yeah. Well, look, and I keep saying it. To me, it's on the owners. Like, put your money where your mouth is now. You know, invest in the team now in this next transfer window, and definitely you'll see the difference.
And do you think they will?
Yeah, I do. I definitely think we'll see 2 or 3 players coming in. Now, are they going to be the right players? That all depends on budget again. Like, there's no point going out and getting a player from a European team or English team and saying, oh, he's got great potential. I think what we're missing is a couple of experienced players.
Yeah.
League violent experience. Now, is it that easy to get them? Probably not.
No, well, look, I mean, many times have we said it, like it's hard enough to get players to come to this football club at the beginning of a season, during the off season where you have a couple of months to get everything planned and bring these lads in. It's not easy. It's not fucking easy, lads, to bring in anybody during a window, especially to bring in somebody who's going to have a real impact on your season. Like, it's difficult. And I'm not saying he can't, because he's done it before.
Yeah.
He has a good track record of bringing in lads on loan, and I'm 100% convinced that he's been seriously doing his homework on this for the last few months. But it would make you question the motives of Travella. Like, instead of doing this every year, where we end up in a bit of a quagmire when it comes to the June mid-season break, and we have to go and try to start again to reignite the season a little bit. Fucking give them the money at the beginning. Let them bring these players in. But again, we've said it before. Maybe some of the players that we're looking at just don't want to come here. We don't know that. But there's no denying that financially that we are playing catch up. When you look at a newly promoted team coming into the league and bringing in some of the players they brought in, you're going, right, okay, that's what you're dealing with here. Like, they're coming in from the first division with more money than we have.
Yeah, but I did also hear before, there is a certain type of player they won't bring into the club at a certain age, over certain age. The club, they just won't sign them.
Like he did before, in the likes of Gary Deegan and Dave Webster. I mean, they were players coming to the end, and they did a great job.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But I think there's players over a certain age of 30 odd that just not going to sign. Like, Keith Buckley's over that age, isn't he? Like,
yeah. But I wouldn't have signed him, to be honest.
No, either would I have owned.
Yeah, it's not just his age, just because of his injury history. That's
exactly, yeah. And so that's probably that thinking. Your man Conwell as well, the centre half. I've been talking to like when the lads every Dundalk game. He said he's fucking shit. He said he's so slow. He's fucking injuries. You know what I mean? So
he was sent off as well once or twice.
Yeah. So I don't think that's the route either to go. So like, but I think if you want to get that type of experienced player that's within the League of Ireland, I think you need to throw money at them. And you need to offer them a good wage packet.
But then, right, if that's the logic, you're in a bit of a sort of a rock and a hard place when it comes to this window being open now in a couple of weeks and trying to bring in lads. So we bringing in lads, as you said, you don't want to be bringing in lads that have great potential, because that's too much of a risk. You want to bring in somebody that's proven at, League One level, or, you know what I mean, that has played probably in the lower leagues in England is where we'll be shopping, or maybe played in Scotland or something like that and just wants to come home and, give someone an opportunity that just wants to come back to Ireland and play football for the last few months of the season. Like, that's hard. That's really, really tough. I'd say the market we're shopping in will be kind of where we did before, looking at lads from, like, maybe not Lincoln and Walsall, but, in and around that kind of world where that's where the connections are between Kevin and some of the coaching staff at some of these football clubs, and he has got a reasonably good sort of net out there, like, for scouting these players. So, but who are we bringing in? Like, what positions on the pitch are we going to bring them in? What do we need? Do we think? Well, we all know we need a bloody number 9. We need a striker, somebody that can hold the ball up top.
Yeah.
Whereas
another wing back, I think.
A wing back.
Right full wing back, yeah.
You want somebody else pushing him, do you?
Well, a bit of cover for a Badgie, or if you can get someone to start in him.
I think he's been really good for the last while.
Yeah, no, he has. But I'm just saying, if he doesn't play there, who does?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's why they're not having a slight at him, but just I think we do need another one.
I definitely think we need 2 more midfielders.
2 more.
I'd like two ball playing midfielders, because I think Ryan can do what?
Really central players that are going to create stuff like Ethan O'Brien kind of.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Like, I think Ryan and Shane are very similar. You can put the two of them in that number 6 role, just sit there, break the game up. And then have another 2 midfielders that's going to get on the ball, always looking for the ball, and have that link up that we're not just kicking the ball long over the top.
But then are we not kind of completely changing our whole tack then? Yeah, we're going to have to completely change the way we play if we decide, right, halfway through the season, we're now going to turn into and I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not fucking being an asshole here, but are we just going to go, right, we're now going to turn ourselves into a football team, lads, and try and hold on to the ball and pass the ball rather than fucking lashing it up the pitch the whole time? Because we've been pretty much doing that for a couple of years now.
Yeah, no, I don't think I don't think it's going to change just that quickly. But as I said before, when we do have the ball, we need to hold on to it for a little bit longer than we have been. Yeah, and like, I definitely no problem with us kicking the ball up, like, kicking away. But as long as we're keeping it when we do kick it up there and we're competing for it, and say you have a big number 9 that will win it and he'll knock it down to your midfield and then he'll keep it for 1 or 2 more passes.
Yeah.
You know, like, we're definitely not going to turn into a Bowes or Shamrock Rovers overnight. But we have to start moving in that direction, I think.
We just, you know what, and I don't want to be dialing the clock back or anything, but we need to just go back to what way we were playing when we had Dougie and France in the team.
Yeah, that worked really well because them two held the ball up, didn't they?
Yeah, and they brought wingers and midfielders into the play. Like it was just, it was, and I had no problem watching that.
No, neither did I.
Because we were successful, and you know, again, we weren't kind of controlling possession in games and passing teams to death. We've said it a million times. That's fucking really boring. It's really boring at times. And even some of the clubs that do that, like Bowes have no problem lumping the ball up when they have to.
Oh yeah, and it's fine. It's like, we're definitely not knocking it.
No, and it sticks when they do it because they have players that can win the ball and hold on to it.
Yeah, I think the what's frustrating us all at the minute is when we do kick along, it's coming straight back at us.
Yeah.
You know, and then we do it again and it's coming back at us. And I tell you what's worse is when you kick along and their centre half can nearly take a touch, flick it up, knock it on the back of his neck, flick it back down, and then still play a pass.
Yeah, way too much.
We've nobody near him. Like, fucking hell, he's all the time in the world to do what he wants with it.
Yeah. You know, it's really frustrating.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. You're like, Jesus, lads. So, but I just like a couple of more players that can retain the ball a little bit longer for us.
No, I agree. When is the window open, lads? Is it the end of July or the end of June? Excuse me.
End of June. 4th of July, isn't it? Oh,
yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
I think it was the 4th of July.
1st of July till the 28th, I think.
So, like, potentially you're doing your business now and you're signing these players and then they won't be eligible to play for you until the 4th of July.
Yeah, I think you can sign a player if he's out of contract, though.
Oh, you can. Yeah.
I think most of the English contracts are up at the end of June, but I think you could have a lad that's been told he's released, you could bring them into training with them, like.
Do you reckon that we'll be kind of looking at loans or bringing in lads until the end of the season? More loans, I'd imagine.
Yeah, at this stage and where we are at the minute, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, would it? Getting the 1 or 2 in on loan.
Yeah. But then it's hard on them players too, isn't it? Because they come here and then they can't go back and play over there.
Yeah.
You're getting them in from the UK, like.
That's the other problem, isn't it?
It's an awkward one with the summer football, winter football kind of disparity between us and the UK. But look, as we've said, it has worked in the past, and he has pulled off a couple of great sort of loan signings and all that. So fingers crossed. We're away to Pats on Friday week. Isn't that correct? That's our next game.
Yeah.
What's the game after that?
Shells at home.
Shells at home. So potentially we could have a couple of bodies in for that, do you reckon?
Yeah, we will have Keely back for Pats anyway.
No, I'm thinking like new players.
Oh, no, not by then, I wouldn't say.
No,
No.
You can only register players, I think, at the 1st of July.
Yeah, sorry. So the Shelbourne game is still in June, isn't it? Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm getting me
It'd
dates.
be, we're playing Bows at home on the 3rd of July.
Okay.
That would be.
So we could have a few new faces in the squad by then.
Could do, yeah.
Could do.
just having a few lads on Friday night on about Josh Thomas being released by Swansea. A few of them saying they'd love him back.
Yeah. I don't know. I might not say no because we know what he's capable of. Like, he's not a goal scorer by any stretch of the imagination, but with him playing alongside Doyle, that might work.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't say no to him, but I definitely think if we were able to get a striker in, I'd like that big number 9 instead of a Josh Thomas style player.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'd be thinking.
What's his contract position wise? He's been let go by Swansea, so did Derry either have to sign him or just let him go? Is that the way this works?
Yeah, so I think as far as I know, his loan with Derry is ending at the end of the month.
Right.
And after that, Derry can either sign him or he's a free agent then.
So
the vibes up there that they don't want to keep him. So.
They can't sign him on a loan, can they?
No, his loan is over.
Yeah. His loan's over in end of June, so they can re-sign him, but he'd have to be their own player. Like, yeah. But I don't think they want to. I don't think they want to keep him.
Right, I get you. Yeah, so once he has no club, they can't get him on loan again.
Yeah.
You have to sign him.
It's just not happening for him, is it? I mean, I don't think he's getting an awful lot of opportunities, though.
No, he keeps changing. Lynch keeps changing his team every week up there. Like,
yeah,
they're absolutely fucking dreadful, though, aren't they?
Good.
Are they going to get potentially? Obviously, they're getting sucked into this sort of relegation bottom 3 or 4, aren't they? Like, because I mean, they're down there at the moment, and like unless they sack him, you just can't see it turning around because some of the players and the money and everything that he has at his disposal, like, it's hard to get your head around. Like, we're giving out about our situation. We're playing off pittance. Like, you know, people are asking for our manager to be sacked. Can you imagine what it's fucking like up there?
Yeah, bad, all right.
They wanted him sacked for months. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, it's funny because like I was talking to that fucking lad at work. He's a Bows fan, and they're looking for their manager to be sacked. They're sitting third in the league, and they're going into a European campaign in the next month.
So that's happened the last couple of years with Bows. They started really well, then once a bad run, they want Reynolds sacked, and then they pick it up again.
But even when they have picked up, they still want them sacked. They're still not happy with. Like, fuck off, lads.
Yeah.
They're not happy after conceding the last minute winner against Rovers. That'll get any Bows manager sacked.
I know you can understand that, all right, but I actually watched that game. Like, Bows are the better teams to be well.
They will, absolutely will.
And like, I think, right, coach should be pissed off at the night if it happened to us or Dundalk.
Yeah.
But you look at the bigger picture and say, Jesus, we actually played well. Fuck, us got a last minute goal though. Sick now, but we're actually playing okay. We're playing well. It's fine. But I think, apart like Rovers, Pats, and Bows, the top 3, I think everybody else downwards is sucked into that relegation battle at the minute. None of them are playing well, like.
I don't know, man, because I mean, every time I watch Shelbourne, they seem to be playing and Bows. Both of them seem to be playing some electric football. Like, unbelievable, like, skill and, you know, ball retention and passing the ball around. And I mean, I don't know what's going on there with Shells either. They're just not getting the rub of the green, but they seem to be playing some serious football.
Yeah, they'd probably have a lot of possession, wouldn't they, Naves? Like,
but they're conceding a lot of stupid goals.
Yeah. And I know everybody's on about Dundalk having a great season, but as Owen said before, like, they've only 1 or 2 more wins than the rest of us.
Yeah.
It probably looks a little bit better from them because they're up that end of it. Like, if Drogheda are up that end, it'll probably look better for us as well, obviously.
Yeah. Shells were beaten since they lost to us as well, though, so they're on a bit of a run.
Yeah, but it is that type of league. 1 or 2 wins is could swap every team.
Yeah.
Apart from the top 3 is what the point I'm trying to make. I think from Dundalk down to Drogheda, like Waterford are a little bit adrift. It's 10 points at the minute. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I think some could get 1 or 2 wins and all of a sudden they're jumping up the league. Same with us.
I know that, like, and you probably won't like me saying this, but like realistically, lads, if we finish 9th and get into a playoff, you'd back yourself in a playoff, because I think Cork City have the first division more or less wrapped up as it is. They're like fucking 15 points ahead or something, I think. But, you know, God knows who you'd end up meeting in a playoff, but you would back yourself against the first division team in a playoff. But I think, like, the way things are at the moment, I'm definitely looking up, and I think I'm hoping, I'm praying to God that we can kind of put together some sort of consistent run. But, you know, like finishing anywhere above 10th will have to be seen as a reasonably successful season. Not going down, not getting sucked into that 10th place. Like, people are going to be roaring at the radio now listening to this going, "Oh, you're fucking on about, you know, we should be looking up, we should be looking up." I am, and I really hope we do. But, you know, again, we'll
realism, like, yeah, you're right.
I even hate saying that out loud, but, you know, that might not be the worst thing in the world.
No, so I think at the start of the season I said I predicted we finish 7th. Like,
7th would be good.
Yeah, it would, yeah. But like, but the way the season is that tight, there could only be 2 or 3 points between finishing 9th and finishing 6th. Like, you don't know. Like, it's
Yeah. No, I definitely think we're capable of finishing 6th or 7th, lads. I really are. I think we really are capable of it.
6th, Richie, really?
Yeah, I think we are, without a doubt. Like, right at the minute, right, it looks way off because of all the injuries and that. But like, I'm taking ahead, right? We're getting all these players back. Hopefully, they all stay fit. We're getting 1 or 2 more players in. Why not start looking for 6th like spot? You know what I mean? Why not?
So, right, in theory, who's finishing in 7th, 8th, and 9th then? When you look around the league at the moment and you look at what's going on.
Well, I hope we're going to be Waterford, stay down there, and Sligo. Like, I think we're capable of catching the Galway. Like,
okay,
we've the same amount of points as Galway already, but yeah.
You know, so that we pull them back into it. So that's 10th, 9th, and 8th. So there we are in 7th. Like, you could pull in a Shells or a Derry into it, because it just doesn't seem to be happening for them at all.
Dundalk could run out of money. They might start slipping.
Dundalk as well. I said it before. I can't see them doing this for the whole season. Maybe that's just more hope than anything. But now, look, I think that the start that Dundalk had is going to keep them out of that, obviously, bottom 2.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be safe from that, which is a shame. But I definitely think you can pull them in. I think there's 3 or 4 teams in around the middle there can be pulled in, and you can be competing with them and catch them.
Yeah, I have a sneaky feeling Shells will push on a little bit in the second half of the season. I don't know why. I have a feeling they will. I don't know about Derry. That's a complete lottery. Because
Derry is Europe as well to deal with, so that could be extra pressure.
And they've been poor in Europe over the last couple of years. Under Rory Higgins, they were horrendous. They were beaten by that Gibraltar team and all that. So yeah, that could knock the stuffing out of them if they've a really poor result in Europe as well.
Yeah, and like, it wasn't too long ago now, like, if you remember, we had Pats there in the bottom half of the table with us for a lot of the season. And Bowles. After the season, Bowles just about stayed up. Or just about stayed out of that playoff spot. So, like, right, I know they're big clubs and they've big money to spend, but they can be sucked into it.
Yeah. Please God.
Yeah.
Well, I do think we have to start. That should be our aim anyway. I don't think we should be aiming for European football. I don't think we're anywhere near it. But we should be looking for 7th, if not 6th spot.
No, I agree. Maybe there was a little bit of optimism at the very beginning of the season. You're thinking, like, here's what we did last year. You know, we're on more of a sort of level playing field and all that now. But the longer it's going on, the more I'm kind of angling towards just stay out of that bottom spot and, you know, finish anywhere above 10th and 9th, and it's a success. Like 8th, 7th, that would do me. And then you're just rebuilding again then for next year. Right, lads, we're going to leave it there. Obviously, we've no game this weekend, so we probably won't do a pod next week. But next game is Pats away in Inchicore, so we'll go for the usual predictions. We'll start with you, Owen.
No, 2-2 draw.
Sorry?
2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. We haven't a clue what players we've got or what's going to be happening, but anyway, 2-2 draw. Richie?
Yeah, look, if we're going with all the players that we've still missed and that, it's just going to be so hard to get anything, lads. But look, I don't like predicting us to lose, so I won't. I think we'll go up and nick a draw.
Yeah, when you look at how we performed against them last year, I think we had 4 draws and we did really well up there. I know Conor Keeley was amazing. But this year, they've certainly given us the runaround. Apart from the first half in Inchicore, where we fucking missed the penalty, Doyle missed the penalty to go 2-1 up. Yeah. And we were really, really good that night, and then we just fell to absolute pieces. And we ended up getting a bit of a spanking. But, like, you know, we're capable. We are capable. We know we are. So, fingers crossed. I'm going to go for a 1-1. That's as optimistic as I can be.
Me too.
And I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah. Oh, they have to take a hand off, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, chaps, I'll leave us to it. Enjoy the break.
Yep.
All righty.
No bother then. Talk to us then.
All right. Cheers, lads.
Good luck.
If you catch a fish or two before you're leaving, and the fish are